political discourse.
Just a bit of a concern here, because for a very long time, the kind of image that the public has had in terms of people who are in universities is that of these are disciplined people, respectable people. We can give them opportunities to lead even in communities, different communities. But what you see in universities right now is absolutely appalling, to the degree even people wonder, why should we take our children to the universities when they come out, they're actually real rogues? How do you handle that, Mr. President?
What is going on?
Johnston, the university setup does not exist in a vacuum. So I can confidently tell you that it is a reflection of what is in the society. We cannot say that this is happening within Kenyatta University and it's not happening within Nairobi, as it were. The university brings about all the diversity, so it's pretty much a reflection of what is happening in the society. Again, as I stated when starting this, we focus so much on the negative that is happening. In my daily interaction with my colleagues, I meet amazing young people in the institutions. I meet people who wake up in the morning to go to church to pray. I meet people who wake up in the morning to do proposals, to engage multinationals, to do everything. Very little focus is given onto this. The image that we try to project out there is a university student currently is this irresponsible young person. Our hostels are sex dens or what have you. But equally,
that is fine. That is fine.
I agree with you.
No. I think the point is we want to tackle that perception, and let's also look at the reality. Okay, the good things are there, definitely. I mean, no one can say that doesn't happen. The university, of course, in fact, you're right. In the mainstream, those things are happening. There are people who are forthright, who are doing the work, going about the education properly. Yes. But there is the more prominent, visible, negative aspect of university students that is really there. You know, of course, universities have always had these things, but with the new liberalized, expanded education system with all these modules, parallel programs, and so forth, and then the hardship that university students experience, these things have gone overboard, so to speak. So let's just address that aspect, being conscious of the fact that things have rolled out of control a bit.
Yes, it's true. A few of the ugly scenes that come out of the really come out of the institutions. We have to also agree that as a generation, there are certain values that we've let go, and perhaps it's not as interesting. Maybe we need to re-examine ourselves so closely. But as I had said previously, as we question the value system in our institutions of higher learning, we also need to question ourselves as
the whole society.
What
do you think?
Let me come to that. In one of the most celebrated gems that Mahatma Gandhi left our people is that education without character only succeeds in making one a little devil.
Yes.
You know? So, it's not about education. You can educate a people. You can supply knowledge to a people. But they need character to make where they are. Otherwise, they will break. These are the same people who make, but they will break because of lack of character. Our young people are struggling in making character. I used to be an evangelist sometimes back. And, and tell the people, we must work on the soul. We have educated mind a little bit. The panorama of looking at things has really grown up. It has widened, but we are not educating the soul, Johnston. We are not at all educating the soul, so that matters of morality are being suppressed in the name of liberalism, as you said, in the name of this is a new age. We are digitalizing every matter, but moralities are not getting digital. As we struggle to make everything digital, morality must also find its space in the history of digitality. But that is not happening. And you be my witness. You'll see that in the halls of residence, you see in the lecture halls, no one tackles morality. The best they do is to butcher morality, even our teachers, so that they come with the controversial debates that are only geared to making you be aligned. And this is something I have tackled, and I have literally been very offensive when it comes to such matters. And I tell the people, until we educate the soul, we shall never pick a panga to disagree politically. Until we educate the heart, we shall never fight, because we will agree that you carry your own view and I carry my own politically. Okay. Let's go to the ballot and determine.
All right, evangelist, listen.
Mr. President.
Mr. President, give me the picture, the portrait of a university student today. You know, I went to university when things were really, we call them the glory days. We used to be paid to go to college. We used to get boom. You know, we were the great generation of the 80s. You know, you went to college, you were paid a stipend. You didn't have costs, you didn't have rent, you didn't buy food, you went and ate. And
I hear they made your bed when you go to class.
Rooms were swept and cleaned for us. Our job was to imbibe education and become the best we could be. You know, you guys have to be jealous. But so just give me the portrait of a university student today. I mean, I see them. My office overlooks the university, so I see them. I meet them on the street every evening. You know, and they look really, you know,
defeated.
You know,
resigned.
How is the life of a university student today?
Yeah, just before I answer that, I have to say that personally, I think I'll be taking an initiative to focus on putting out there the image of a good university student, because the more we focus on the evil, the more it is glorified. But now to answer your question, yes, I envy you. Because currently the image of a university student is that young lady who comes perhaps from Turkana or Busia, their first time in Nairobi, and they have missed an accommodation hostel. And they qualify for 40,000 shillings help for a whole year. And you know that rent in Nairobi and meals
in a decent place, at least 5,000 shillings in a month.
Yes.
You know, one room in,
in
a secure environment.
So you cannot you cannot take care of yourselves, because the finances that you're being given by the Higher Education Loans Board is not sufficient. A university student currently is that person who will wake up to rush to a class to, you know, get that front seat, because if you come late, then perhaps you might actually even be locked out because the lecture hall is full. A university student currently is someone who tries as hard as possible to try and manage their studies, at the same time try to get that extra shilling to sustain themselves, because you know the majority of our families, some of us come to institutions of learning, and the little money you get, actually even the family back at home is waiting for you to pay school fees for your younger brother. So as a country, if we want our human capital to be good, if we want our industries to stop complaining about half-baked graduates, then I think it is also time we said we have to invest into these people sufficiently. Because if we keep giving people 30,000 shillings for a whole year, let me just give you a breakdown. If you give a KU student 40,000 shillings, what it means is that it is being disbursed in 2 slots, that is 20,000, 20,000. 4,000 shillings is sent to the school directly from HELB. So what is being credited to a student account is 16,000 shillings. Out of the 16,000 shillings, the school fees perhaps is 11,000. So you pay 11,000, you remain with 5,000 and to cover the whole semester.
Which is for 3 months. 3 months.
Yes, and you have not paid rent. So if you are lucky enough to get the institution, then you're perhaps paying 4,000 shillings. So you're remaining with 1,000 shillings on the first day of settling in the institution.
For 4 months.
Yes. And that is why I have met ladies washing cars of lecturers, or even walking into some another student's room and telling them, can I wash your clothes so that I get a meal? So if I am training, for example, to be, if I'm training to be a doctor, but what I'm doing is I'm washing clothes for my colleagues, it goes even into my own self-esteem. I think this is a debate.
The worst things that students are doing, let's not be ashamed about them. Let's talk about them.